Well, I have to say, I didn't catch it in time, but that song ended at a nice time. Let me pause that. There we go. Hi. How's everyone doing? I've been immensely busy. Um, Classes have been redonkulous, and I finally got a bit of free time now that all that's done. Work has also been pretty intense, but a little low morning, so here I am. Today's stream is a little bit different. Normally we play games. It's been a long time since we've watched a cooking video. Hopefully that can catch up a little bit over the summer. It requires me cooking, which I haven't really been doing that much. So that's one of the things. Yeah, but I still go with it though. Um, so over this last week, my in-laws came in, and we got to go to the Houston Zoo, which I haven't been to since before COVID. And I decided to grab my camera, act like a boomer, and record the whole thing. Um, I also discovered that somewhere on here, where I casually place my finger, is the mic. Let's see if I can find it now. Oh, good lord. If I'm looking at this right, it's a tiny little hole right next to the button that you record with, which is where I was holding it all the time. So, I'm not going to talk too much. But I will be here. I'm going to jump in on occasion. For the most part, like I talked through this whole video, the trip and everything. It's me, my wife, my little kid, and my in-laws. I do my best to not point it at random people or hold it in a way such that it's pointed directly at my wife's ass. Um, so it should be okay. I looked through the footage. The one time I noticed I pointed it directly at her ass, I immediately went like, I'm gonna try not to do this, and moved out of the way. So it shouldn't be like the worst thing ever. Um, we went through almost all of the zoo. I only missed like 3 or 4 of the animals. You you will notice that throughout all of this, the child starts getting sleepier. The parental units start getting a little more tired in a different way. So the end is a little bit more like, okay, we're heading out, but we really only missed like 2 or 3 animals. Um, that's all I can think of. I'm gonna get started. So let's swap on over and go with it.
Take a snack.
This is the lovely Andy with a Lorelai and the horse stroller.
I don't know.
There's a sea lion over there.
I mean, you just want to start walking?
Yeah.
You just want to go to the right and do a big circle?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's go.
I thought about bringing my chest harness, and then I forgot.
There's turtle. Tortoise.
Oh wow, it's a lot shakier than I thought it would be.
Adam 2022. That is cool looking. Sea lion cliff.
That does look like fun.
That looks awesome. The sea lions are going to be so excited. Wait a minute, you want to go see the sea lions?
Oh, I pointed at my own boobie. My
Are
bad.
they in there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm cool with going. they're like.
Yeah, you see him?
There was a surprisingly large amount of people not wearing masks.
I know.
So we did our best to not be around people. I still don't trust anyone these
Do you want to come back there
days.
on a show, or do you want to hang out here for a little bit?
Very cool. You see him? Lorelai, you see him? Water. Yeah.
They do a show every once in a while that's actually really good, but we came really early. This is like 9:30 in the morning. And the show is closer to like 11. And we ended up missing it. I was very... in retrospect, I was sad. I didn't really think about it at the time, because we were just so many other things. But yeah, they're great. I think they have 5. Yeah, I understand why people don't wear masks. Like, especially in Texas, it's hot as hell.
Before we go to the right, you want to go
But oh wow, this is much more swingy than I thought it would be when I did it.
The Reptile House over there.
I just don't trust anyone.
That's one of the
Like,
last things that we probably were snooping around.
you had like a thing that was just like definitely vaccinated. But I wouldn't really care, but these days.
You're not 6 feet away from me.
Deal with it. Oh goodness, everything.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I hate
I'm not gonna worry
face
about it
recognition technology in general.
You like my
So I'll probably wear a mask for quite a while. I have too many good ones. I have a nice it's stripes, but the color portion is purple flowers.
Yeah.
I love it.
all kinds of water over there. I figure I can stream a day at the zoo.
Oh yeah, day 2. Everyone has said it is rough. There's one guy who I talked to who said that it was not the worst thing for him. But like, it's a free vaccination. I'm gonna go for it, especially for something like this.
What is, oh, this is a little loopy loop. She's a loopy loop. Oh, this is like the whole thing. Oh, okay. Do I have to link it up now or on the way back?
We can go over there. See the plane. Oh, look at the lemurs. They're a lot closer than the lemurs at the other zoo we went to.
No, I'm not looking now. I'm supposed to
You were lucky if the second didn't hit you bad. It knocked
They're very
the two of
chill.
us out for about 2 days.
So they are right now cleaning their
Look at their tails.
especially designed for combing themselves.
They're grooming each other.
And that
They take
guy, the one
turns.
to the far left,
The two on
he
the
used
that
to
are
be
close to each other.
wrapping his tail around himself.
That's what they do. They groom each other.
See?
Like little bugs and stuff get in their fur.
You like them? Yeah, they're lemurs.
They can't reach themselves.
Yeah, did that one jump?
So as soon as they get to the back of their neck, they can't reach the
Whoa, that one jumped up really high. It has lettuce. See, it didn't eat this green. Yeah. You eat your green? Yeah.
Nothing like just hearing someone cough consistently standing next to you.
That's not all over your face, pretty girl. So at least you're not as coughing as much. Oh, look, that one wrapped its tail around it. Can you wrap your tail around your head? Yeah. She shook her head, yes.
Well, I'm glad to hear you didn't have to go through the really bad symptoms for your second shot.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, okay.
Just weak and tired isn't too bad.
Hey. Bye, lemurs. What?
Oh, I
I could wrap my other umbrella over there. I could. That'd make my life easier probably. And I'm not for that.
Go slow and see if we can get behind them enough. They're really annoying. We can see lemurs from over here too. Yeah, look at the lemurs. Oh, we needed to change her diaper before we came out here.
Okay.
Lorelai, calm down, calm down.
Is there a bathroom?
I don't know.
I guess the restaurant.
Why are
is
you
there.
asking me?
Look, I said I guess the restaurant is there. I wasn't asking you a question. I did
You
it
looked at
first.
me and said it as a
I
question.
did it first, and then you said, I don't know.
Look,
so then
look.
I had to stop and think, Ryan.
Calm down.
Okay, let's
What's
go
up,
to the
Goblin?
bathroom.
Do you want to go and just do it real fast?
Yeah, I guess I'll do it.
Okay, I love you. Do you need assistance?
Yes, join me for my family vacation full of mildly tense, almost arguments,
Okay.
dealing with a fussy child towards the end, and animals. All the animals. Yeah, that was a really nice exhibit. Yeah, I'll be honest, when I was recording all this, I was just like, I can look back at how they set up their exhibits and enclosures, and when I start
They're
doing
very chill.
zoo streams again, I can use those as inspiration for building. Yeah, and I mean, this has been so long since I've been to a zoo that, like, going again, I was just like, wow, whenever I build something in Plant Zoo, it's completely different from this. There's so many times they showed, like, the full world map, and I'm like, yes, here's the whole world. And it's, like, right here in this tiny portion of this large continent. We didn't need to show you all of this. I think next time I need to bring one of those, like stabilizer handles or something, I don't know. Yeah, so there's one closer to where I live. This one's like an hour and a half out of the way, and then that's with minimal Houston traffic. But there's a much smaller one that I'm gonna try to convince my wife to go again to, which really won't take much convincing. It'll be more like, hey, let's go, we have the time.
Donation plaques.
And I'll probably do the same thing as this, and just kind of keep up with this, because this is fun. It's streaming for y'all, but it's home videos for me. So this portion's a little slow, just because I'm trying not to go too far ahead. Yeah, it's very chill. This is really early in the morning. So we're trying to catch some of the animals that are more morning. Oh, let me mute that. And it was pretty empty. Towards the end, it gets a little more crowded. At around like 2 or 3 o'clock when we left. My wife has a fear of birds.
No, caught something. Whoa! Okay then.
Yeah.
I'm awake.
So it didn't look like it came that close, but that bird was like 4 inches from my face.
That caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Andy would have died.
Yeah, she had a turkey vulture get all up in her
God,
face.
always having twins. That feels intense.
Yeah, by the way, apparently tamarins always have twins. Who knew? People who wrote this sign, that's who knew.
These are different type of grackle.
I mean, yeah. It's a legit fear. I mean, they are dinosaurs. And then now they fly. They're flying dinosaurs.
There's not very many animals that get that close to people. I'll put it that way.
No.
But yeah, she had a bad experience with a turkey vulture just flapping in her face during a zoo,
They're protecting it.
not a tour, but like the introduction to animals kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of
Yeah, that's true.
wasn't pleasant
bird?
for her.
Oh.
Less inclined to.
That's like a little tiny bright
There he
toucan.
is. What's that?
Ow, what the hell just bit me?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some pretty colors.
Yeah, also apparently my camera doesn't have a zoom function, as I was frustrated to find out. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
All right. Oh, I read a very sad comic about people owning parrots. And that's all I can think about right now. How is this basically like, if you're getting a bird, expect it to make sounds like a bird. And expect it to want to be social and want to hang out with you.
And we get to eat them. We eat dinosaurs all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just remember chat isn't on the screen anymore. So if this is watching in a VOD, a chicken is the closest living thing to a dinosaur.
I think there's
By
one
the
right
way.
there in the nest. Maybe.
What's the comment?
Yeah, one of the crown lemurs.
Okay, so you can't really see it. Is my mouse
Right.
on the screen? Yeah.
If the other
Okay,
ones are
so
out
it's
here, I
like
do not see them.
here. Just chilling.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't happen too often, but there's definitely enough animals that are just kind of like sleeping in a corner to be a little frustrated about. But you know, animals gonna sleep. This is that moment where like, what happened here?
I
That
know,
they had
right?
to put a little fence up. Or a window? That's the word.
Keep expecting them to suddenly be behind us. Let's see. It just loops around. I'm gonna go to the next.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, so my research lab has very strict, rules for, like, masks and everything. So as far as I know, no one in my lab is, a COVID denier. I guess that's the best way to word it. But, with just the amount of stuff. My wife, she is a manager at a store, and she's had multiple, at least one person, I can't say multiple, at least one person has lost family members and, like, gone off on people who have, like, refused to wear masks going into the store over this last year. It's just, I don't know. I guess if it doesn't happen to them, they just don't think about it. Okay, so let's see. Shortly, the rest of the family will join us and we'll go a little bit faster. Oh, there. Yeah. So I just didn't think about it. Because you would think the mic would be like facing forward and not off on the side. So there's a certain way that I would hold it that was just really comfortable. That I didn't realize was muffling all of the sound. So unfortunately, that's gonna happen kind of regularly.
I'll just wait. Almost.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing a shirt for POTOS, beer.
Endangered. That's always
And that's a PATAS, monkey.
Why the heck they're apparently the fastest.
That's stupid fast.
Yeah, 35-mile-an-hour monkey get chased down.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had to run at 10 miles an hour, probably I'd limit out.
Right now, I'd probably top out at 10 and then immediately hit the ground.
Yeah,
My father-in-law
hard, huh?
is
Right?
apparently a bird
Such a
watcher.
pretty red. That's not the best.
You know, there's a name for you.
Yeah.
How would you like to be a swamp?
Oh, right. I was like, that's not really like the most flattering name. But then I saw their tails and it reminds me of Nutri-Rat.
Yeah, they have like a hairless, like, rat tail. It's very weird. Different. This is a better
Oh,
word.
there's one up on the ceiling.
It's a good camouflage with the green tint.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the swamp monkey, it doesn't really show up on the camera, apparently. But they're like a brown, but also like a bit of green on them. It's like the, I don't know how to word it. Other than how I just did, I guess. But
Small fish.
they were definitely different than usual.
I assume at a certain point we'll probably have to backtrack to catch up with them. But I'm surprised it's...
Looks like we are.
Yeah, I wonder if they're having trouble finding it.
All good, Missy. Take care. I'll see you around. Thank you for dropping by.
The red-tailed monkey. Shoot.
And yes, definitely message me. I would have messaged you earlier, but you're always on Don't Disturb, so I don't disturb.
Okay, then.
But yeah, feel free to give me a message anytime.
That is, you know, I didn't really realize how long the tail was until I read it. And then that one hanging like that.
Yeah.
That is impressive. Yeah.
Most primates eat primarily leaves, shoots, fruits, and insects. Some eat primarily fruits, while others eat only leaves. In the case of black howler monkeys, they eat only young leaves as they cannot digest older vegetation. Some primates will occasionally eat meat. Fruit eaters need larger areas of forest so that they will ensure there will always be at least one fruit tree. Leaf eaters, however, can simply move to the next tree. Oh, I went way too fast. Oh, well, I tried.
Oop. Sudden ramp. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, there were a lot of viewing areas like this that were
Grass.
closed off.
Okay.
Let's see if I time this one well. Primates have a number of distinct ways of moving. Some of the most graceful to watch are the champion leapers, whose flying leaps can cover great distances, such as nope. I tried. Oh, it was saying that the most distinctive ones were the gorillas with their knuckle walking.
Some aggressive doves.
I remember that. But that's about all I remember of it. I'm sorry.
Okay. It sounds like they're heading back over there.
Oop.
Someone.
What?
The family returned. I didn't realize I
Little handlebar
backtracked.
mustaches.
Whatever.
Do you see him? He's right there with the long tail, the Pathis monkey. The world's fastest monkey. These are the world's fastest monkeys, Lorelai. Don't they look super fast? They're scratch fast. You see him? Yeah, do you hear Grandpa? They run over 35 miles per hour, Lorelai. The Pathis monkey. You see the birds in there too? Yeah, ducks. Yeah. He's scratching his leg. Oh, he's moving. You say monkey. Lorelai, can you say monkey? Monkey.
The next one cleared up if you want to go.
Hey Lorelai, let's go look at the next one. Say bye, monkey. Bye, monkey. Let's go. What? And the red tail.
Over
Oh
there.
look, there's the red tail and the swamp monkey.
You want to come over here?
You see him, Lorelai? You need help. You see him? Monkey. You like the monkey? Yeah. Say hi, monkeys. Monkey, yeah. Yeah. Are they cool? Yeah. Get down.
Yeah, she yells at the dogs when they
You
jump on
didn't
stuff too.
notice. Apparently, these have like ridiculously long tails. The red tail
Yeah.
ones. 'Cause I didn't notice until like one of them was hanging from the roof. Okay.
Bye, monkey.
Just put the name of the company. Reptile monkey.
There's an unexpected ramp right here. So not this part. The next part. I almost fell. I guess you had the stroller to warn you.
Oh, good lord.
But suddenly it was an angle and I was like,
Oh, so to not walk around and make people really aware that I was recording people, I would hold it in my hand at my side. And apparently while walking, I swung my hand a lot more than I thought I did, and I'm very sorry about that.
yeah. But apparently
let-
for some reason this one's closed too. Which feels weird because this is a viewing platform.
That's the same monkey.
Yeah, but it's the area is closed. Yeah, me either.
I guess because people were, they couldn't see 6 feet apart really well or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You see your wheels on the bus, Lorelai?
Yeah, and of course they were in the most awkward spot.
gibbons are just chilling. Yeah, let's see. We might be able to see him better over here. Yeah, Mama, we're used to working.
Whoop. I'm not sure what happened with that. That was a weird cut.
Trying not to point the camera just directly at your ass every once in a while.
Thanks, man.
Well, I'm walking slightly behind you. I'm trying not to.
Oh, look, he's over
Let's see if I can do it. Oh, nope.
He's like, what, me?
Hi, man. Say hi. What's shaking, bacon? Really?
Putting your head underwater. God, I'm so frustrated. I'm gonna have to, like, experiment and see where this freaking mic is, actually, because I think I see where it is, but there's, like, 3 other places it might also be.
What's he doing, Lorelai?
It's just really silly.
He's just sitting?
It's probably simian, one of the loudest animals in the world. Those can be heard over a mile away and last up to 20 minutes. The sound amplified by an inflatable throat sac, which can expand the size of their head. Oh, no.
All good.
Oh, yeah, there was some kid walking, like, directly at me between me and the sign. I remember that now. God, I hate kids that are mine. My kid's great, usually. When she's not really tired. Yeah, apparently a Simmons is louder than a lawnmower. By quite a bit. But I met my wife, she was working next to those in Animal Kingdom. And every day she got to hear them yell in the morning. Orangutans.
Did we bring her water bottle?
No, it's in the car. I was like, I can't Ryan grab the water bottle. Is actually what I said to him. Because I know I. Yeah, I know, I see it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so apparently this is orangutans, and then in the water around it were like 3 different types of turtles. And then my dumbass decided this was the best place for me to fix my camera settings. Because you can't, I don't know if you can tell, but it's on like fisheye, like super wide lens, which I didn't really like. But I was trying to change it to linear.
Hey, I need to see the water too.
And for some dumb reason I decided to do it here, because I'm dumb.
Hmm.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the turtle?
It was a big turtle.
Yeah, yeah. That's the one I was talking about. There's another one over there too, like right in front of where we were.
Yeah. I was playing with the settings this time, unfortunately, because I'm a bit dumb. So I decided to do it in front of the orangutans.
Yep.
Just when it would be really cool to have not done that.
Yep.
But as stated before, I am a dumb.
I am a dumb.
I've been trying to record all the signs and stuff.
Which I failed. Planting trees out the world, orangutans in the world. Your visit to the zoo supports people working to plant trees orangutans need in the world. Women live in communities around orangutan habitats where to plant trees. Their wildlife people, oh god, they plant trees to help the monkeys and apes. Do it. Plant the trees.
She said the tang part.
Orangutan. Orangutans are excellent problem solvers. They will make their own tools or opening hard shells, fruit, collecting insects, and even creating leaf umbrellas to stay dry. They are endangered, by the way. Man, I didn't realize how filthy some of these glasses were.
They don't look like that.
Oh, okay. You can tell by their faces. Ahora tiene.
Okay, Lorelai, you ready to go to the next one?
Can we go a little slower?
Looks like a little guy.
Can we go a little slower? Okay.
Born in 2011. Oh my goodness. This was born the same year.
So there's a whole thing of information that we're about to see that I was waiting for this family to leave.
Okay.
You can see him like
Lorelai, hey. Hey, it's okay. Calm down.
Okay. Kelly, Cheyenne, Rudy, Ventilio, and Aurora. Yep. Boop. Tell you what, that little girl is like the easiest way to decide you've been standing still too long.
Lorelai, it's all good. We're moving again. We're gonna go that way.
To the left.
To the left. And then immediately slightly to the right.
So, my understanding is that this portion should be the newest addition to the zoo.
Ooh, this breeze feels nice.
Oh yeah, that was like great. I remember that
Sweaty enough
breeze.
for this to be pleasant.
But anyway, sorry.
Little kid.
So this is the Texas
What up?
Wildlife
Why are you
area.
yelling? You want to risk releasing the beast?
We can.
Apparently Texas has a whole bunch of bald eagles. Like, I think it was 400 around. I think. I only glanced at the site and the sign. I apologize. Bald eagles are proof that protecting animals in their habitats. I'm gonna try every time.
Bird, yeah. An eagle.
So this particular bald eagle cannot fly. I'm dead positive I show a sign after this, but essentially it was injured with a wing injury, and after it healed, it still could not fly. So it's just like
No.
a ground bird now, and just kind of hops around. Also, if you know anything about bald eagles, apparently they're dumb as hell. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, awesome.
I'm glad you got that on.
Me too.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's go before that keeps going.
Bye, bird. Wait, there's more birds this way.
Why doesn't the eagle fly away? Our bald eagle was found with an injured wing when she was very young. She healed, but she cannot return to the wild because she cannot fly, but she can walk, hop, and perch on her things.
Crane.
Whooping crane! They are endangered. Protected under the Endangered Species Act, and partners between Texas landowners and state federal agencies have done stuff to help them.
Let's see.
One day I'm gonna finish. One day, one time during the stream. Hopefully it'll be today if it happens. Oh, she made it funny. And I talked over it, and I feel bad now.
You're lucky. I only said that joke once so far.
You know.
I'm sorry, Andy. I didn't mean to talk over your joke.
Say bye, whooping crane. Bye, crane.
They just have different paths to make you think you're not going
The squeakiest ice chest. Yeah, one of the weirdest things is I didn't get bag checked going into the zoo. It's been like 10 years since I've been into a crowded area and someone hasn't gone through one of my bags. Or pockets or anything like that.
See the bar?
Yeah, somewhere in here is an alligator gar,
Did you
apparently.
see the guy?
Oh look, there's a big snake though.
That scared the hell out of me for a second because I didn't process the word fake. And I also didn't see the head. I saw the rest of the body. And I was just like, oh goodness. Andy was really calm about that. But then we came across that corn snake in the middle of an exhibit one day.
Yeah, I was pretty chill about that too.
Well, we knew that was an okay snake.
Yeah, that was at Disney, right? Or was
Yes.
that at the Birmingham?
I mean, no. It was, we went to Disney. We had to go to the
Yeah, all the way to the
reserve
front.
area in the back through the, like, the trippy thing.
Home builders, alligators are essential. Nope. Yeah, they have statues just throughout the zoo. I'm going to assume they're the actual size of what they should be. Because the couple that I recognized were about the right size anyway.
I'm sorry, I'm doing the best I can.
You like the alligator? Bye, Peter. Later, Peter. She said bye. But you would have been there.
Again, trying not to point the camera at random people.
The gator might have turned into the after wild crocodile. Nice.
I'm gonna have to grab a battery from you soon.
You're lucky because I have one in my backpack.
Actually, you have 3.
Hey, Lorelai. Let's go explore more.
I'm gonna read this sign real fast.
Let's see if I can read this sign real fast. Alligators. Alligators and humans have lived together for thousands of years, sharing the marshes, swamps, rivers, lakes, in North America. Encounters between alligators and people have become more common as housing
Okay,
developments
we
and
have
other
to
human
get up here.
activities expanded to
That'll
formal
be
wild
when you
views.
need to find it in the
Living
recording.
life safely without is required. Awareness, caution, some other stuff.
Another tiny little thing.
And itty bitty turtle.
A small bird.
Yeah. They're really, really nice statues. They're just everywhere. That's their little food court. Oh yeah, I forgot they have a restaurant there. I'm pretty sure that's a restaurant. There's a couple of things that you can pay extra for. That one in particular is a, it's like animatronic dinosaurs and statues of dinosaurs. But it's like
I can't see what the battery is.
between
on my thing.
5 and 10
I'm
a
afraid
pop.
it'll look down it's dead for a
South
while.
America.
I feel like it's about to rain again because it's starting to sprinkle. Do you want to go inside real fast? Or do you want to go under the thing? We need to go fast.
Hey, let's go. Grandpa. Oh, sorry. You see him? Look, they're under there, too, to get all the rain. There! Lorelai, look at the monkeys. They're over there.
Yeah, they know how to stay dry.
The other guy's trying to steal his food. And that other guy's like, no, don't touch my food.
He wants lettuce, it's down on the ground.
I just want your food, not my food.
He's like, but you already got it, man.
Okay.
Giant river otters build dens and riverbanks where they live in family groups. Ah, does that count? I read it. I say it counts. Oh, new battery. And when the new battery was put in, the river otter showed up. Sea otter. Sea otter showed up. I'm not sure if it's playing on the glass or trying to get out. Lorelai yelling at me.
I can't tell if he's playing or trying to get out. One's funny and the other one's sad.
He looks very playful.
Yeah, but at the same time he's like digging at a corner. It looks like that rain passed already though. We wanted to keep going to a degree. We want to move forward a little bit and get some filming. Yeah? You want to come look at the fish with me?
Enjoyable, relatively small aquarium. It's hard to judge distance through water like this, but there is a piece of glass.
It feels like a lot of animals in a very small area.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, me.
Because there's totally glass separating them from the otter area.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
See the turtle? Lorelai, look at the turtle. Grandpa, you can bring her up closer. She has the name.
Yeah, you can like park her in that little corner.
She likes turtles. They came to see you.
I'm gonna go and see if I can get an anaconda.
That anaconda jumped.
Yeah, so this is a yellow anaconda. Chilling underwater. Where I can't really see it. Yellow? Green? Oh, no, I'm not sure. I didn't take a look at the sign. This is totally meant for children.
I'm way too small for this area. I shouldn't have come down here.
I also know my words. I was way too big for that area because the area was too small for me. But hey, I assume that you guys aren't as stupid
I may
as
have
me.
crawled through the little tunnel. My back and shoulder hurts.
Yeah, I totally almost pulled something doing that shit.
Yeah, Mimi's up there. Mama's right there.
I'm sure there's more in there, but he's the easy one to find.
Well, you know.
Oh yeah, there's another one just like up on the cliff right above it.
When John, oh. Yeah, big old claw. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have been grabbing on it. I just wanted to have
Remember when
like
no one was afraid to drink out of a public
reference.
water fountain? Good times, good times.
Yep.
It'd be so cool to see him fly down
Yeah, he's chilling on the other side.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other side of the giant river otter. Giant river otter can go up to 6 feet.
That's a painting. You know, from back there, it looked like a picture. That's cool.
Yeah, they did paintings of all the animals. Every otter is one of a kind. We have two. Nope. They have
They're named. There's 4 of them.
Rogi, Marley, Maximo, and Drew.
I would totally pay for that experience. I'm just saying, right?
Drew.
I mean, I know you would. I would be okay with it. It would need to be with her a little bit older, I think.
Yeah, well, we would have
Sitting
to go
still?
to we would have to go to South Africa,
Oh,
South America. So
Well, I meant like, I'm sure there's wildlife tours in general. Pretty flowers. This is actually all documentation, so when I make my zoo on Planet Zoo, I can do a good job. Oh wait, that's cool. Just in case you can't see it, here's a statue of its head.
That's the.
I imagine with
Oh.
all this rain, they're all in their indoor areas.
Macaw. Parrots. Okay, what's a parrot? Not a macaw. I was trying to say parrot and macaw in the same breath because I'm stupid. I love this enclosure. It is so beautiful. There's like this huge river thing through it all with so many walking areas, and then this random just slab where Tesoro can hang out.
That's what I feel. His eye like partly open over here. He's chilling today.
So let's see. According to these markings, oh, it's only the male. Okay, never mind. They have two here. So I thought the second one was a female, but it's actually just information on a jaguar.
Jaguar's the largest cat in America, and the third largest cat in the world. Only lions and tigers are bigger.
But he was taking really long, deep breaths for a moment, and I had the same kind of thing with the dog. So I'm just like, "You're alive, right? I'm gonna stare at your chest." Okay, okay, there we go. A breath.
He's really cool.
Yeah.
I'll move out of the way.
You wanna hold Lorelai up?
Oh, you want to see him? Yeah, I have to get out.
This might start the walking, carrying portion of the day.
You see him? No, you don't want to see him?
No.
Okay, bye, Jaguar.
Is the kitty too big for you? You want to get back in the stroller?
Oh no, she wants to.
Oh, she wants to push the stroller.
Yeah, 'cause she's a big girl.
It's gonna be interesting. Okay.
We went through that experience at the other retreat.
Okay. Hey, look.
I tried to let me sit in it, and she said no.
Hi.
Hey, Lorelai.
Look, a lizard. There's some little statues hidden everywhere, or not really hidden all the time. It's all rainy and stuff.
What do you see?
Everyone's relaxing, maxing, acting all cool.
After shooting season, I said half a bear.
Yeah.
Giant anteater. Giant anteaters up to 30,000 ants and termites a day. Cat bear is the world's largest rodent. They have snuff and bars. Tapir can hold its breath underwater for a time. I started just pointing it to show what animals are in the thing and not to be able to read it.
Looks like they're in their own individual thing, maybe?
I don't know. With that little girl, it's hard to stay still for too long.
Yeah.
There's a really pretty jaguar.
Yeah, there's a lot more to this. I'm surprised that we were that lucky that he was just chilling right there.
That's what I said.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just don't realize how big these areas are.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a gator.
Patiently waiting for other families to move while I cover the mic. Apparently. We're pretty sure that's a fake alligator. It's like covered in moss and people dropped rocks on it.
It almost feels like a statue, just because there's stuff on it.
That being said,
And all the algae.
other than those two things, it's a very realistic statue.
Okay, well, let's go back this way and I'll cut you off. Alright, let's go.
If you ever had to deal with a 2-year-old willfully pushing a stroller, you will understand some of the...
Is it gonna make it? Okay.
Yes, as a person who walks directly towards me, thank you, stranger. Ah, yes. The creakiest of chairs.
I'm gonna record all of this.
Come on. Okay. Good job.
Oh, you gotta turn. You gotta turn. I see nothing.
I see the swan.
Well, is a swan part of the... Oh yeah, look right there, swan.
Want to let you see the swan? Hey, that's what Lorelai is. The southern crested screamer.
She doesn't have a crest yet. She's too young.
You're helping save the giant anteaters in the Pentala. When you visit the Houston Zoo, we use portion of the funds to go and fund it and save some stuff, I guess. Some more amazing statues. Or another amazing statue. I guess it was only one.
No, she's way back there.
There was a family in there, and the second we walked in, they're like, "Oh, time to go," and like got up and walked out.
I almost missed like capybara just chilling right here.
So here's Mom. I'm on the go.
Got a stroller, don't care. I'll go around a bit.
Way in the back. I can't even... I was looking at the whole time. I couldn't even see it to point it out. It was just way in the back.
Good. I'm glad you found the puddle.
I know, right?
There was so many birds in there. I apparently had it pointed up way too much.
Where we're going? Alright. The boss has spoken.
Yeah, our pace was dictated by a child.
Sammy, step on me.
Water brings birds to the no. It's one of those words you read in your head, and you're like, yeah, I can say that, and you try to say it, your tongue doesn't want to do it. Ugh, makes me want to swim. Be a chill duck.
This is cool.
It wasn't for me
Are you
covering
coming
them.
in?
Yeah, we found the birdhouse, and it's always a thing to see if I can
Let
get
him
her to
know.
get into the birdhouse with me or not.
I'm going in. You wanna go? Okay. You ready? Alright, watch out, watch out. It's a pull, not a push. Alright, you gotta push through it. Yep, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. And then of course they
got it?
like tangled all up on me. There's like 2 birds in there that I saw. And this little girl wanted none of it.
Yeah, Mama's outside. You wanna go see Mama? Okay.
Yep. This concludes
Hello,
our
sir.
trip through the birdhouse.
Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. Right here. Come on. Hold on. Yeah, come on. She went in, yelled, Mama, and we went out. There was almost none that were like suitable. Okay, let's go. Watch out, watch out. There you go. Lorelai, no, we're going this way. Lorelai. Either you pay attention and go straight, or we put you back in it.
Figured I would cut out the tantrum. Yeah. Just a rabbit in the gator. Alligator enclosure.
We're going back through? We're not gonna go that way? We're not? You sure? Okay. Because it goes to the food area. There should be a place right there. Okay. Yeah, just go into the food store right there and you walk right out. Look at turtle.
Somewhere there's a turtle. I promise. Yeah, the guy was clapping at the cranes. A grown man.
Is that a thing? Ooh, it's a nice little vantage spot.
Just a nice, peaceful, amazing view. There's so many plants. It was so nice being outside after so long. Seeing all the nature. This is our
Oh, hell.
short lunch break.
What's up with these batteries?
Yeah, my batteries are just draining stupid fast. I don't know.
Look at how pretty.
I went there with 4 batteries. We were there for maybe 5 hours, and I did not record the entire time because of cuts like that. And each one was lasting like less than an hour. Yeah, it happened whenever I look somewhere, I would just turn my hand. So whenever you see the camera just wildly go left and right, I'm kind of just seeing what's around me. If there's any other way to go, how the plants look. If, like, what kind of fence is there. Oh my goodness. It is so hard to not swing your arms when you're walking. Because I was really trying not to. But they have a red panda on the foggiest window you've ever seen.
Stuffed red panda.
Oh yeah, well spotted, Rich. It used to be in front. I wonder why they
Hydration is important. I bet everyone's just in the face.
Oh. Okay. I guess I'll change the battery.
Oh my god, he's like
Have I not been recording this whole time?
Yeah.
I'm going to be upset if I didn't record that whole section just now. Okay, I now have to check to make sure I recorded. Okay. I'm very upset because for some reason it didn't record the first time. So we're gonna go through the bug house one more time. So if you don't like bugs.
This is your official warning. There are 2 spiders and like 4 different cockroaches. There's also other things classified by definition as insects. So if you don't like those things, be ready. You're gonna see some. They're behind glass, and it's being recorded. I have no idea what was. Well, apparently didn't show. I couldn't see what was in there. Dead leaf mantis. Boom. Wow, I'm gonna turn it down. It is so
I
loud.
don't know if it's gonna pick it up, but he's in there.
A little scorpion in there. Giant millipede.
Oh, it's in the back.
Up in the corner. Yeah, of course. God, it's still kind of loud. The centipede. It was. I don't know.
Those are the burrows. Oh, up there. Ooh, wow.
I think it was like 3 inches long.
I'm really upset because the last time we came through, for the first time, the red velvet ant was like cleaning itself in the sand. It was really cool to watch. Ugh.
Eastern velvet ant.
Oh,
Sorry.
by the way, I'm sorry about the not worrying about spiders. I'm kind of just going, and I actually didn't realize this was the spiders right here.
Don't worry, Pastor Ryan. I kind of got you.
I'll be honest, if you hear me say we're going into the bug house and you didn't expect spiders, I don't know what to tell you other than sorry. So, wherever there's shadow, there are these bugs. And something about having something called assassin bugs and then you just realize they're everywhere is kind of terrifying.
Yeah, there was. I don't even want to even guess. There were so many of those in there.
Tarantula, you can't really see.
Okay, there are now no more spiders to be shown. I promise.
Giant leafy insects.
There are roaches coming up though, if that bothers you.
Some itty bitty ones you can kind of see because they're just moving.
Yeah. They were super tiny. It was like maybe an inch long at most. I don't know if they're babies or if that's how they're big they're supposed to be.
These guys are just everywhere. Stag beetle. Look at that color. I've always loved that metallic green. Just so pretty. Diving beetles. And they're just chilling. And over there in the back.
Yeah, right here. I don't know how easy it is to see.
And some roaches. Look, they're roaches. The stag beetle. Ooh boy.
Yeah, I don't dislike roaches, but they're definitely not my
There's another
favorite.
one, I don't see him.
My mom, the stereotypical reaction to mice. That's how she's roaches. Jesus, look how big that damn thing is. Alright, I'm gonna try to point some out.
And look, in that vine back there.
Back here, there's like
Three of them.
Yeah, three of them.
It's much stronger.
And they're right here.
Let's see what else. Oh my god.
Yeah, if you can't see that. That's like as big as my palm with some finger length added to it.
Jesus. And then right there.
These guys.
Dead one on its back.
So there's this like really, really like almost a dead leaf.
Holding on for that long.
So I don't know if it was like the male or the female or something. Yeah, this dude's just staring at me.
Giant flower beetles. Ooh. Yeah, someone's freaking out in the back there. There's something kinky going on here. Anyway, we'll leave it to that. Prickly stick insect. Oh. Nice. Roaches. No, right there.
It's like
Anyway.
right there.
Orchid mantis. See if we can get us some 6,000 bells. Oh look, I don't know how many it's gonna pick up.
Yeah, it barely picked it up, but it was up there, and when I held it there, it looked like I would see it.
Oh good lord.
Yeah, that's like another 3-inch long beetle.
And this was that.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of roaches. And they had a leafcutter ant colony, which was a Texas leafcutter ant colony. I didn't know they had those around here, actually, I'll be completely honest.
Okay. Oh, he sees us. She, it. Nothing other than what it is. So we came through the first time with my mother-in-law. Her hand was like right here. And this boy just came and flew right up to her. And I am very upset that I missed getting that recording.
Yeah, it was very
Shall we
frustrating.
press some buttons?
Yes, Ryan. Press buttons. Do it. The most reverby owl hoot you'll ever hear.
Oh, you got caught. I don't know how that's gonna show. There's a
It's
lot of glare.
this
But the
dark
light
spot
there.
right there.
To be honest, you can't really see much even if you're here. But that's how its face looks. But I can't even see its face, so whatever.
Yep, what can you do about it?
A heckin' chonker of a bird.
The biggest turkey. Right past the sign.
This is Robert Cat, but his friends call him Bobcat. He's sleeping in the corner.
Have I told you guys I'm a dad? I believe once you're a dad, you're legally required to make dad jokes. That's what they told me anyway. Oh, let's see if I can read the sign. Give it to me. Liberty's triumphs. Liberty, a southern bald eagle, came to Houston Zoo as a young bird in January 20,000. God damn it. Found it living in the ground in Texas, who found it couldn't... Okay, they found it with bird shot in it. And they healed its wing and took everything out and gave it surgery and everything, but it still couldn't fly. So they kept it. After 4 or 5 years, they reach maturity. They mate for life. I want to say it was a 30-year lifespan. And if it wasn't for people, for some reason, pushing bald eagle in, America would have the turkey. Have the turkey as the
This auto move.
national bird. Yeah, and then this is the river
River's
otter.
awake.
Hi.
Auto don't give no fucks.
Yeah, no, zero fucks. Also, the cutest goddamn little thing ever.
Oh, he's so cute.
A nice little enclosure. Like several different water levels. A little slide.
It's a very hot, rainy day, so I'm not very surprised that they're not moving around too much.
And of course I cover the mic. Yeah, there's only one out. There's apparently supposed to be like 4 in there. Or total are in there.
Hey, look, turkeys.
Yeah, by the
I
way.
missed one. Damn it. There's one of these for, what's the word? Domestic turkeys, which apparently are a thing. But it's like way over there. And I've already gone back once because I forgot to record. So I'm sorry about that. we're gonna skip it.
I'll be
know who my
honest.
family
I
is?
didn't like
So let's go on
forget to
in.
record. It just didn't start when I hit the button. That's what I'm sticking with.
Do you see what I see? A bird, staring at its. Well, now it's staring at its tummy.
No, honey.
Oh,
Yeah, just reaching through.
uncomfortably aggressive. I'm gonna go. He didn't like my song. I felt that in my balls. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how well it picked at my flinches, but I was leaning back for that the whole time.
that thing was just lunging at my nuts.
Oh, here we go.
It was terrifying.
A river otter.
Baby otters cannot swim, but once taught can dive up to 60 feet.
60 feet diving baby otters.
I know, right, past
There's more
Ryan?
than one otter in there. I wonder if it was sleeping somewhere. I don't think my knees can handle that.
I would have died.
Little duckos. Oh. This is a cool little spot. Is there even anything in here? Not that I can see. Oh. I see the family. We're gonna casually ignore them and go through the area that they just finished going through. Is that an egg? No. Oh, it is. Well, okay then. Man, you like the statues here. They're very nice statues, though. Do not feed the animals. Oh, wow, look at this.
You better not feed those animals.
Dad, I heard you.
Spoiler, I did not go into the tubes.
Hanging out by the door. Oh, wow, there was a lot of them.
There was easily 20 of those things in there.
Oh. Okay.
I think they're wombats? Now that I said that out loud, I'm not sure.
No.
Yeah, those are the
Oh,
tubes.
stuck. I can't do it again.
Fuck all that. Black spotted newt.
Where there you is. Little newt. Let's see. What else we got? A Houston toad. A little. Oh, there he is. I'm pretty sure I've seen those in the museum.
Yeah, it does look like a regular toad.
Maybe not. I don't know. It seems like a very specific area to live in.
Yeah, around Houston. But still, it kind of just looked like a regular toad. I'll be honest.
Spring salamander. Oh, they eat out the whole world, but then they gotta do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Here.
So I'm told there was a larger one. But, you know, whatever. I got a tiny one. Fuck it.
Ooh, there's a nice breeze right here. It feels good.
I get that small.
Okay. Let's go check out the... we'll head down the way back. Oh. I'm starting to sprinkle again. What's over here? Nothing. We'll do it on the way back. We might get trapped in here. It starts raining really hard though. A sandfish. Well, I guess we can look at this for a bit then.
These lizards swim through the sand to escape the desert heat.
swim through the sand to escape desert heat.
Yep.
And video recorders.
Mm. This mighty blue lizard sleeping. Tiger salamander. Playing in the dirt. More statues. Good to know these cameras don't really work in low light, apparently. Texas rat snake.
I like snakes.
I do like snakes.
I don't know where the hell this one is.
Yeah. And then it saw me. And I was surprised. That's probably one of the cutest little reactions I've seen from a snake in a while. Oh my god. Stop looking at the light. Desert grassland whiptail lizard.
Grassland whiptail lizard. Sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't say it for anything. Nice and chill. Wow, I don't know if that was my eyes or the camera, but it became very yellow gradually, and it really threw my eyes off. Three-toed box turtle. Look at that turtle. Isn't it a shadow?
Look at that outline.
Yep. Anyway. There's an owl we're about to go see, so that's what that was.
You're watching this, Mandari. Are you happy?
She's not watching, it's okay, pass Ryan. You didn't know. You gotta, I'm pretty sure you're legally required to send pictures of Steba's short-tailed bat. There you go, in the Mindari Discord, if you are in fact in the Mindari Discord. So, that's what that was. Filling obligations.
Let's see. Oh, hey.
Burrowing owl! Ground owl? Burrowing owl? Well, confirmation in a bit, but I'm pretty sure it's a burrowing owl.
Let's see.
Yep, a sleepy fox. And that weird reflection of people in windows. So there is a small fox. Yeah, there's a small fox statue way in the corner.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Nothing but disappointment.
Look, it's a sleepy fox.
A tiny fox. The foxiest of foxes.
He's over here in the corner.
Oh, here, thank you.
Come on.
Burrowing owl, I was right. Aha! And then look, this one they zoom into Texas, and it's so much more of an area that it covers. Like, who vets those pictures?
It's a water fountain.
Yeah, there's like a little, like half a cactus is a water fountain. It was kind of weird. My phone's on silent. Why is it? Oh, is it maybe in the stream? Okay, let's keep hearing my phone go off. Mongoose. Ah, abandoned mongoose.
Stable.
Yeah, they are in fact stable. There's a lot.
There are a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I can go next. I'm going to look at my map while we're casually chilling. Oop, I've got a text. Okay, how long ago was that? Just now. Okay. They're up at the front. There's this that I see nothing for.
Apparently there's ducks in there.
Nothing.
That's what I was told
Oh,
later.
it's a petting zoo. We're not going to go into the petting zoo. I know that's probably sad, but no time.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, all these little things. I'm pretty damn sure you can, like, book out the areas for events and weddings. I don't know if you still can, but you could at one point. Yeah, I recognize that cry.
Why are you yelling? Hey, why are you yelling?
She's trying to escape and Mama wouldn't let her.
Oh, it's okay. Come on, let's go walking.
Mommy's just listening.
Okay, let's take a little break.
Boop. Face reveal. Koi.
Koi, 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 koi.
Exactly. Koi can live about 30 to 40 years and prefer to live in cold water.
Is it at least cold?
She's not listening.
Is that a statue of Lorelai?
The loudest aluminum bottle ever. I figured I wouldn't record myself filling up a water bottle.
I guess there is a carousel, but yeah, no.
Ostriches and giraffes. Or according to my daughter, gaffs.
You have to pay, it looks like, to get up to the feeding area.
Yeah, so back here in this corner,
Might be worth it.
where's my mouse? There it is. In this corner is like a platform you can go to, and you just can feed giraffes if you want.
I just have this feeling we're about to get caught in rain.
It was like
Since it's
$7.
starting to rain. Should we immediately turn back to where we were?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, let's go back then.
Another little cut.
God, I don't know why my battery's dying so fast.
Then after the rain, we went and hung out by the giraffes for a bit.
No. Should we just keep going? She can catch up like I did? She's eating food.
Yeah, Andy stepped away to get some
We're
food
kind of more here for this one.
so that she wouldn't kill anyone. Unfortunately, our family is known for getting hangry. It's very difficult to push a stroller and record.
Sorry, I'm on stroller duty. I'm trying to keep it steady, but I don't know how well that's gonna work.
It's very rocky. Although it seems to be doing better than when I was walking with it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go so she doesn't freak out. You wanna catch up?
Yeah, making sure family was following. My father-in-law wasn't feeling the best, so he was always a little bit slow. We wanted to make sure we didn't lose him anyway. $7 to feed giraffes, apparently, with a hefty line, looks like. Another little food court and shopping center. Gift shop? That's the word.
No.
She knows what she likes. It wasn't that. Or anything in here, actually.
Wolf? No? Okay. Tiger? Or lion? I know what animals are. Lion? No?
Hey,
Hey. What you got?
garlic knots.
Ooh.
And then there's goldfish in my backpack.
Yeah.
I got garlic knots and goldfish in my backpack.
She
You
got
want a snake?
asked what food she had like 6
No?
different times. Because her parents were not paying much attention.
No. Doesn't caught her eye.
Red
Doesn't freak out and start
panda.
reaching for something. Oh look, giraffes.
I was like the dog.
Did she get a giraffe last time?
Yeah, she got a giraffe at the last week.
We spoil our kid with stuffed animals.
Okay, let's call it and see what's at the front then.
What if I stop where I can sit down and eat something? Because I'll be a lot less grumpy.
We kind of just passed that. You want to go sit over there then?
Yeah,
Okay.
Food break?
Okay, and we're back. Snack time's done.
Yep.
There's a rhino, but it's like way ass back there. Look, it's this one.
Yeah. The widespread. Okay.
He's like,
Yeah. Right there.
so yeah, we're gonna just go to the next one that we can see, I guess. Oh look, there's tracks. It's weird that they're walking away from that, but whatever. Hold on, wait. Did we find the snake here? No.
No.
Sorry, this looks like the area that we found that snake.
Yeah, it was going downhill, like, in towards the crazy area.
No, you're right. It was in the Disney Zoo. Why would I think it wasn't there? I don't know.
Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
The walkabout thing that's next to the safari where the gorillas are.
No, it was by the oh god. We have to like take the air track thing to the back area where it's all like the endangered and hospital area? Yes.
Yeah, so we're
I
just
distinctly remember there being a Pokemon Ghost gym there that like no one had gotten to, and we threw our guys in at the last second, and then the park closed.
yeah. So one of the handrails, we were there with two of my nieces, like cousins by marriage, some weird relation.
Oh man, this breeze. This feels nice.
And just on the handrail was a corn snake, just wrapped up, chilling.
Ooh boy.
So we went and found one of the handlers,
They're way
zoo
over there,
people, and we're just like,
though.
hey, you have an animal here. The chimp enclosure is enormous. This is like one portion. Yeah, build a person slash ape. Apparently, I perfectly found the mic holding it right now. Yeah, also apparently the battery died. I'm a little frustrated about that because there was a whole section I was trying to record with there's some chimpanzees kind of near a window. And there's absolutely nothing to like notify you that the battery is dying other than checking it. And to check it, you have to like get out of recording it. And apparently, people here have done a lot of help with apes and gorillas and
Turn around
stuff.
for 1 second and he gets up. He was waiting for the kids to not be around. Well,
Some of the things they'll toss into the enclosures with them.
You're like,
Ape just chilling.
I hold my feet like that. No.
Just an enormous enclosure. And there was quite a lot in there too. One of the things that got deleted because it didn't freaking record it was a image of the amount of chimpanzees that are in there, and it's around like 11 or 12.
He did. He's pretty cool too.
yeah, you gonna move some people?
Yeah.
Always be courteous. We're in the middle of the freaking area where the cool animal is. You shouldn't hog that kind of stuff. It's not cool, man. You may have noticed I also started to get a lot more crowded compared to earlier.
I'm right behind you, BJ. You are now clear. Well, hold on. Okay, now you're good.
Hi, baby gorilla. You say hi. Hello. You're very good.
Whenever you're ready. We got 3 more. And then
Dude, right on.
Yeah, apparently tantalum is like very much mined in the middle of gorilla country. So the zoo has a cell phone recycling area, which was an interesting little fact.
also reading that thing about tantalum makes me feel really bad because that's what we use for heat treatment. We have to wrap samples in like just sheets of pure tantalum.
Yeah, by the way. It's just very non-reactive for the most part. But now I feel bad using so much
You know,
of
we're
it.
outside. Whoa, it is slippery. Watch out.
Bunch of silverbacks just being super chill.
See him chilling down
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's that's one of the reasons why I was just like.
gorilla. It's not a monkey.
It's one of the reasons why I was trying to say, let's go a little bit faster, just because he's getting sleepy. Ah, I've almost slipped like 6 times on this.
It has to be this thing on the bottom then. With the way that it's not going. Maybe? I'm still not sure.
I looked down and got immediate vertigo.
But there's a huge drop right there.
I looked
It
down
was-
and saw the like cavern below me and freaked out.
It was very uncomfortable.
Had that like balls in middle of chest moment. I didn't see. Oh, was that the river hog thing we were just at? I guess. I didn't see any.
I did not realize there was a monkey in a tree right there. Yeah, random dead end.
You would think someone put a sign. Dead end, apparently. What the hell?
I do not remember what I said that for.
I'll tell you about it later. I'm not going to make the trip depressing.
Oh, I remember now.
But something happened.
I'm not gonna bring it up here. News. I checked my phone for news. And it was just bad news.
Right? Yeah, let's go. In the little play area.
Children and butts, apparently. That's the portion we're at now. I try not to just blatantly record little children. But there was a really cool, like, little play area there. Had, like, little huts and masks you can put your face on, which, I mean, you shouldn't do anymore. Yeah, oh my god, if you come here during Christmas, wintertime, they have lights up
Spiky tree.
everywhere. It's amazing. It's very enjoyable. Okay, confirmed. That's my phone going off in the recording. Because mine is muted. It's been bothering me this whole time.
Let's see where we're at. Okay, so we're right here. So it's a weird triangle thing. How do you want to do it? You're gonna go down, up, and then just like immediately turn around, or
Have we seen the cheetahs and everything?
the cheetahs are only from that side? Maybe? No, look, there's a covering. So let's go this way then, and then that way, and then scoop around. Okay, so let's go to the right.
Like, I'll follow-
Planning out your trip.
I think I see how we can do this. Maybe.
I was like, I would for once like to say that we saw everything today.
Yeah. Hopefully the batteries will hold up for it. Zebras, they're right over there. We came to the wrong side.
Cobra.
I'm getting glared at. Oh my goodness, look at those horns.
The tip to tip,
Getting
that's
neck
like,
pain just looking at that.
yeah, I got my neck. Easily 5 feet.
Oh, it is about time. Let's see the elephant. I think we're almost there. It's like,
Yeah, they're pretty close. I think there's warthogs over there, right? Maybe it's birds.
I know he's
They're in the process of walking away. So, please don't think I just squeezed in next to someone and stood next to them. They were trying to, like, maneuver out as I step forward. When I realized I lost the entire family.
Mm. You want to see the cows real fast while you're getting water?
Yeah, I had to take some ibuprofen because my head's starting to hurt again.
Okay. Again, that's why I'm trying to keep it going. Yeah, I know. There, that was weird.
Yeah, I stopped recording for a minute.
Pygmy hippos.
When I put it back, it was
They're probably by
sideways.
water, but there's a lot of land.
Yeah.
Which kind of eyes. What's that? Nope, it's a bird. I saw mild movement in the back. As soon as everyone's staring in the water right there, they're over there. This is a really big open area, though. Oh, there's Bunny.
You see the hippo?
A comparatively tiny hippo. With like the weirdest skin texture. The camera isn't really picking it up. I don't know how to even to begin to describe like the way that skin looks. So it's not bumps. It's like a different texture where you see the bumps. I don't know how else to word it. Ooh,
So
sorry.
this area and then the reptile house, and then we're done.
Yes, we are very close to finishing.
Out through the town.
Just singing directly into that the thing. Water bottle.
Oh yeah, she has had her
Think of the word water bottle.
her mouth just into the mic or the water bottle yelling. Yeah, there you go. Everyone else is on wheels. Except for me.
A bongo. Baby bongo. Where? I see them not.
Bongos wallow frequently in mud. When alarmed, the yellow-backed dookie erects its bright dorsal crest and whistles a shrill sound. Please do not feed the animals, they bite. That counts as reading a sign, right? 2 signs fully read. Hooray! Whoa.
Oh, there they are.
Doing something there, I don't even know.
I've done that. Just lay down. The food trough just right in front of you.
Yeah, the bongo is super chill.
Supposed to be something else in here, but oh well. Yep, so we need to go that way.
I only have the rest of Africa and then the reptiles.
Yeah, and we're like about halfway through Africa. Temporarily closed. Okay then. There's supposed to be bears. Everyone's been walking past it kind of fast on my way over. So
I just read this. I'm the bigger bear.
Go
I'm the
inside?
smaller bear.
we're down there because there's steps.
The black bear? Yeah.
Brown.
Brown? It says black bear.
Oh, my bad, my bad. They look like brown over there.
Those pictures made them look brown. I will defend that. But they are in fact black bears.
Ursus americanus.
Exactly. Bears are like nature's gardeners. They eat a bunch of fruits and then poop out
Where
the
are the
seeds.
bears?
That was what that said.
Oh, there's 2 areas for bears.
Yeah,
Look, look.
and
To
it's
your right.
crowded over there. We avoided it a bit. This is when the zoo started getting really full. There's just people everywhere when we got to the end. So shortly, I'm going to do a little jump.
Okay.
Because no matter
Ooh,
who you are,
something on the end over here.
you will potentially critique how I deal with disciplining my child.
Let's see what it is.
I'm just going to not even let you watch it. So, when that portion comes, you won't get to see it. Beautiful leopards.
I have a feeling this can be hard to find.
I'll spoil it. It's up here.
That is some dense underbrush.
Apparently there's a second one right here, but I never saw it. Yeah, this was, I mean, it is so much plants right here.
Oh.
Boop. As stated. Wow, that contrast.
Look at that
Thanks,
tail.
Sky. Bucked my shot. Right there. They're named for their spots.
He's kind of peeking out over here a little bit.
There you go, kind of see it. Oh, man. Ah. This camera apparently is just the worst
No,
for
we're
that.
sitting down. Where's your passy?
Alright, we're skipping that. Little ocelot. The ocelot name derives from a Latin word cala. Okay. Husa. Again, trying not to record random strangers.
No. I don't know if you can see it, but he's in that crack right there.
Yeah, it's this in this
He is
dark
out.
shadow. Sleeping.
See if we can find the bears real fast. Yep. Look at that bear.
Right. Now.
And of course it's starting to rain again. Or the tree's raining on me, one of the two. That's a crowd, I want to come back.
They're going to be rushing to get those jackets off the head.
Closer. Oh look. Again, I don't know how well that's picking up.
This
But it's way
lighter color
in the
is
little crevice.
the fusa. Bosa. However you say it. They need pronunciation keys on those two.
What? What?
It's the only way to answer when she's calling your name. You say what?
There's a lot of people.
She desperately wanted that water, but then she would just play with it.
See, with a lot of people without masks.
Bear just bearing around.
He's just chilling. Mm.
Oh god, that's what I get for trying to walk fast.
This is the whole elephant area.
That's alive. That's actually the tiger. Lion?
Reptile House and go.
Lion there.
Oh wow. Okay, let's go.
Don't worry, the child was in fact fed. We did not just ignore her cries for food. little stripes.
You see the cat?
You want to get more in the middle out of the way?
Meow. Yeah, that's what cats say.
Again, always be mindful when you're standing in the middle of a path and blocking people.
They're like all the way down there.
Yeah, a huge walking area.
Yeah, it went away because it heard you crying over there.
I love you.
I love you too.
The best partner is one that makes you laugh.
Okay, let's double check before we're going the right way.
Where do you see us?
So,
So you are here anywhere?
I did once, but now I'm just
So I think we need to go.
tiger.
Takes us
Okay. Okay, well we missed the okapi, but we can still hit the elephants. What was over here? Oh, the lion. And then we missed these two. Okay. It took me way too long to realize this is in Spanish. All right. So we need to go that way and then cut to the right and then go. Cool, it's raining again. Let's go. Or do you want to hang out here and go kind of slow? It was dry right under that. At least easily.
We, in fact, waited until
But hey,
the rain
it
stopped.
has over half battery. So that's something, I guess.
This is like the one battery that came with this GoPro is like the only one that lasts long. So I'm about to just buy some official GoPro ones or something, I guess.
No, because that's the orangutan. We need to go that way, actually. We need to go this way. Sorry. Little sneaky cutouts.
Once we get done with the Reptile House, we're just about to get the exit.
Yeah, and then we'll just head out.
He's up in the tree. Up on the thing, right?
What am I looking at?
Look above the cave. Like up on the tree.
Oh. Way up there?
Yeah, if you look
Up
at
here.
You're in the middle of the...
It's just a pet peeve. I hate blocking people and inconveniencing people. And especially with the stroller, it always annoys me when I see other people do it. So I try not to do it myself. Again, it's back there. It's really hard to see in the camera. It was hard to see in person. But there was one back there. A little mountain lion.
That's all the monkey stuff we saw.
And apes. Don't forget the apes, Ryan. This is a closed exhibit, which we didn't know.
This is, but that's a nice water feature.
It is a nice water feature.
Well. Oh, it's temporarily closed. It's what?
It's supposed to be the vulture.
Oh. That was a nice little water feature that wasn't running. I was sad not to see going.
You don't need it. That's where we can find this other cat.
Is it? Did we make a wrong turn?
Yeah, we just turned around right here last time.
Okay, and elephants. This is like okapis.
Yeah, that's what it's happening.
Yeah. And then elephant. There we go.
Lorelai, you don't need it.
Sleepy, yelling children.
Maybe if we run into a water fountain, we'll consider a passy just so you stop yelling. That's the only one I'm okay with.
Yeah, I was gonna wash it off before we went home.
Well,
We already had tea before we go.
we could use the water bottle and make it go a little faster if you wanted to.
Last time we were coming,
Oh yeah, we didn't get to see this. Man, that's a big fake tree.
Yeah, this is relatively recent, at least within the last year.
Well, which means since someone's out here with a excavator, we're not going to see an elephant in this area.
Male elephants need me time.
well, I guess I'm not gonna see the elephant.
There's like 3 sections to this though. Like this whole thing just goes along the side almost to the front. Nice little viewing area for when they are here though. Oh yeah, when we came here there was a like
A baby.
starter Pokemon event going on or something.
Yeah. So that's when I got the Chimchar, the shiny Chimchar, and the shiny turtle.
How you doing, whale
I remember getting
balloons?
the shiny hell, I can't think what it's called.
But
Yeah, there is a dog right there. Watertight starter.
Doing good.
Okay.
We
Uh-huh.
are
I'm sorry.
the dog is
watching my home video of the trip to the zoo.
Well,
Help other people enjoy some outdoorsy stuff.
no elephant.
It was really fun. I mean, it's in the title, but this is the Houston
like your
Zoo.
mom's trying to be the mediator between your dad and us, distance-wise.
Yeah, so I went with
Thank your dad for
in-laws
going through, but he's gonna have to rest after all
and
this.
the wife and child.
There's elephants.
There we go. We're currently looking for
Yeah, they're
elephants.
right there. That man is about to be slapped. You just want to rinse that passy off, love? I just want to pull over here.
Ah, yes. Tired children. The best part of any trip.
You good if I go up and record a bit?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I love you a bunch. Lorelai, hey. Hey. It's okay. Hold on. I know, I know. Mom's getting your passy right now, okay?
I try. Parenting is hard. I will put that out there. But yeah, she was just so tired. And she understands a ridiculous amount of stuff. Like, since she was born, we've always just talked to her. And apparently she just picked up a lot of stuff without us realizing it, language-wise.
I'm good for it.
Yeah, a short little break for some pictures real fast in just a moment.
Yeah, can you say elephant? Oh, that was a good one. Thank you.
Yeah, give us just 1 second, Mom.
It's probably the cutest thing in this whole
What's up?
stream.
My mom wants to picture too.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yep.
I'm pushing now.
Breaks for pictures real fast.
You can help. Are we going straight?
No, we gotta take a left.
Left? Okay.
Actually, Max is the dog that's here. I thought Max was the dog that's here.
Got so many people. So this is around like 2 or 3 o'clock now. And the zoo is just...
I'm pretty sure this is the building we have to get into.
Yeah, the zoo is just so full.
Lorelai, come on. Stop. We're walking.
Stubborn child gonna stubborn. Oh no, something on the lens. What's the light? Oh, thank goodness. I thought it was water.
Anything? A Komodo Dragon. Not in the front. Well, okay then. A crocodile monitor. Not in the front. Okay.
No.
Lorelai, come on, we're just pushing.
God, just anything was setting that little girl off. Reptile House. It was way more crowded than it should have been for post-pandemic stuff. The awkwardness of trying not to record strangers.
No, look, it's over here. I walked past it. Of all the things. There's a box turtle in here?
I went kind of fast with that one.
Yeah, it's the same as the season, I think, right? No, it's not. Never mind. It's a much smoother one. And then the big show.
Because I apologize, apparently there's a mic somewhere where I kept putting my hand.
Agnigada. Island iguana. That's the part I can say. Wow, that's a big thing.
Yeah, like, look at this fella.
You got kind of a rough face.
I didn't pick it up. That thing had,
Yeah,
like,
the wheel
just
slipper.
scars.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel you. That's how I want.
A caiman lizard. Oh, look, they up in the corner.
Hey, can you walk with Papa? Lorelai, go walk with Papa.
Lorelai, come on. Here, you may kiss it. You may kiss it. Mwah. All better, right? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you're okay. Here. You're okay. Look. Look at the snake. No. You're just really sleepy, aren't you? Now look. Look at the lizard. It's a chameleon. No, you don't want to see the chameleon? What we got? Oh, look, here's the Komodo Dragon. Look how big that lizard is. Yeah. Lorelai, I need you to be a little more calm, huh? Look, there's a snake in the back. That's a king cobra.
No.
Yeah, that's a king cobra.
No.
Okay.
I tried. That little girl.
Well, sleepy kid gonna be sleepy. Even is this. A black-headed python. The signs are nowhere near close enough for me to really show at the camera, so. Oh, there's these. Brazilian lion's head.
Thank you. We,
Very pretty.
it was a whole process picking a name.
Rattlesnake, just because of the color. Very pretty snake.
But, yeah, I love the name Lorelai.
Turtle. Oh. That is a derpy little turtle head. Andy, look at this little turtle.
Yeah, the turtle had the weirdest face. It was just, like, really round.
Or is this a Brushmaster?
Yeah.
A fringed leaf-tailed gecko? I don't think that's what that is. Oh, there we go. And if anything had a dragon-looking head, it's that thing.
Mm-hmm. It was very prehistoric
This is
looking.
the fringed leaf-tailed gecko. Oh wow! I saw its butt before I saw its face.
Yeah. I was like, I see a bug, and then I saw it.
Oh, we love zoos. This is the first time, second. She went a couple days before this to a different zoo. But this was one of the first times she went to a zoo old enough to kind of like know where she was.
Green tree python? Oh yeah.
Hopefully we can keep going to different zoos.
What do we got?
She can learn to love animals and nature.
I see him not. Do you see him? There's like no water in here too, so I'm wondering if they even have him in there. What? Oh, nice. A bearded dragon. You never see those. Anyway. Saint Catalina's rattlesnake. Oh. The lack of a rattle is weird. I wonder if it like hurt itself. It doesn't have a rattle. I can't see the other one. Or it got hurt. I can't say hurt itself. A Greek tortoise. Nice, nice. Gila monster. Nice, nice. A green mamba and a black mamba. Oh. There was a pelican earlier that was trying to snap up my penis.
There was, in fact, a pelican earlier that was trying to snap my penis. It was really weird and uncomfortable.
You heard me?
Yeah.
It was like a net mesh, and I was just like, walked up to him, and I was just like, "How you doing, pelican?" And he just reached through and started to bite me.
Feels like,
I don't think it's a cobra.
well, it feels more like that's the food. I don't see. I don't see. Over here. A Gulf Coast ribbon snake. Cool.
I love snakes so much.
Look, one all up there. There is another one in the corner though.
There's so many colors.
The ones that open to the front are always kind of weird.
Local water snake.
Local water snakes. I like how that's the name.
Yeah.
Good thing you only find them in certain areas.
It's cotton here.
Where do you see that?
Right here. Wait, no, that's the
It's this one, yeah. This one, oh, it's just a water snake.
Okay. That's that.
Like how it says snakes. But there's only one. Oh no, I suppose there's another one there somewhere. Oh boy. Look at that cottonmouth. Let's figure out how fat those things are.
I've probably seen more cottonmouths killed
Copperhead.
just because I used to live by
And a Texas red.
Swamp.
There's one up here.
and whenever I would see them, I was a child with other children, and the parents were having none of that venomous snakes around children. In retrospect, I always feel really bad about it. But when you're around a bunch of hunters who don't want their kid to be by dangerous things, in retrospect, it's always really sad, but I understand it to a degree. I guess if it was my kid or an animal, I know what I would pick. I just hope I don't have to make that decision. A little friggy. I guess a toad, really.
Diamondback. Always fun. Angolian python. brown tree snake. Oh, there we go. Oh man. I don't know if it's about the shed or not, but those are some cloudy eye covers for them scales.
Yeah, so snakes have like a, I don't know how familiar you are with snakes, but their eyelids are just like a constant covering that comes off when they shed, and it was just solid gray. I doubt it could even see it all. This frog was enormous. It was, if its legs were tucked up under it, that thing was still over 6 inches.
Sunless python. A pit viper. Oh. That is like one of the coolest color schemes I've seen in a while.
Beautiful snake.
Man, I think it's just, oh man, I love vipers.
I do love vipers.
What's up?
I said, there's the tortoises. I'm looking for the spiky-tailed lizard.
I mean, there's like a whole thing in that corner. There's just Egyptian tortoises.
I'm holding on to them.
This has no label, but there's a snake. That is some warped glass.
A favorite breed of snake.
Arizona black rattlesnake.
I'm pretty sure it's shown in here. It's the vipers that I can't think of the name because I'm terrible with names. That have the is it an eyelash viper then? There's a little spines around its eyes that are like a good, beautiful green.
Man, that thing's huge.
Lorelai pointed at him and went, pretty!
I was focused on the one in the back. I didn't even see the albino on the front.
Just enormous snakes. I hope that was the door. I noticed that banging when I was there.
I see no poison dart frogs.
I see a bug.
There's a grasshopper in the back. But I see, there's a couple in the back. But I see no frogs. Oh, there's one. Oop.
Yeah. Repnar. A single one. There has to be more in there. It's just such a big area.
We're at the whims of the people in front of us. So let's take a longer look at this one frog. And the snake over there. Alright. That was a lot. Amazon milk frog, bumblebee poison, and blackleg poison. I just feel like that's the milk. It's just gooey milk.
Yeah, it's just like my enjoyable part of seeing if I can find something I didn't notice the first time.
Nice.
Oh, they're all the way up there.
Flying frog. Oh goodness. Another one, little IS.
There's one way up there.
Nice. Unlisted. This is a cool water feature. Yeah. Oh no, look, there's a frog. He's hidden. You got a cool water feature, man. Oh, and then there's this guy. That's cool. That's a pretty color. I wish there was a label so I knew which. Oh, look, here it is. Borean ear frog, Emperor newt, and Anderson's newt. I only see these two right here. And then there's a newt over there in the corner, but they're all the same.
I couldn't find the golden. There's
Golden
one
frog.
down there, and then there's one up there at the poison dart.
They're
Over
dark.
in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little down there. There's a really pretty red one.
Oh wow, that is a tiny one. That has to be like a young one. Oh look, there's one up here too.
This little
Oh,
frog,
well, this is gonna show.
that bright green.
I wonder if that's the yellow one that
Right
instead of
there.
over there.
I forgot I did that.
Oh look, and then in the back there's another one.
This little green one. I almost didn't even see that guy.
That's at the very top on the.
Oh, yeah, there's like throw random frogs in here with everything.
Just chilling.
Yeah, well, like I said, I feel like that one's the yellow one I was looking for over there is right there. 'Cause there's a little baby and there's another one back there.
That tiny little thing right there.
Apparently there's a gecko somewhere, according to the sign.
Yeah, it's back there. It's on the leaf back there.
On the leaf back there. Can you give a little more better direction? Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Like
It
here.
looks like a dead leaf.
It's just chilling.
Okay. That's probably best. An Eastern Hellbender. Nice. What do we... Oh. You always like when they get on the glass, right? Oh, there's some down here.
I feel like you can see the one in the back better now.
Oh, I didn't even realize we're on the other side. That is some big snakes. Perfect. That's some teeth. Sorry, all I can think of is someone I used to know just going, a Burmese python, as he had a heart attack because he's a jackass. I see. Oh, Jesus.
I was like, he's gonna find it. It'll be great.
Oh, hush your face. I was looking in the back up there. I got my scanning strategy. Sometimes it's just at the end of it. What is this? Oh, Rickard's Anole. Jesus. I mean, it makes sense that there's like parts of that type of animal that get this big. Family? I don't know what classification Anole goes into. I imagine that can't be a species. It's been a long time since I've taken biology. I'm sorry.
Very long time.
Leaf-tailed gecko.
Well, that's like the other one that we saw over there. He's chilling right there in the front.
Oh. The glare was in a weird spot, and his face is off to the side.
The glare is still in a weird
The
spot.
underside of his face is a little different.
Yeah, it's like flat and has like a texture to it, so when it presses its face like against a stick, it would merge with it. It was really weird.
Oh, that blended in a little too well.
Oh my goodness, he did. I was looking for him everywhere.
Yep.
Oh wow. That blue is amazing on him. It, her, nondescript sexual animal. Oh my goodness, that's such a beautiful animal. Okay. Some super danger noodles. Emperor.
Beautiful animals. I'd never seen a snake like that with like just random scales that much of a different color. It was so pretty.
I always like scales that look like legit armor.
Yeah, there's another one like down in the thing right there.
Yeah, I see
think there's
this
some more
one.
right there.
I wonder if there's only two, or if there's more. I don't know. There's a nice little cage for him. Enclosure, sorry. Enclosure.
Just some snakes, some lizards, a couple frogs. But we're just going around the loop here. But no, you didn't miss too much.
Right at the bottom here.
Staring right at me. This is when my hand definitely found the mic.
What is this? Aruba Island rattlesnake. Nice. It's a very pretty pale color. To make sure Lorelai wasn't back in here. Speckled rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake. He's brown.
see no rattlesnake. Oh, rock rattlesnake. Oh, right there. Sometimes the basic leaf tree camouflage just looks amazing. I love snakes so much. I miss my snakes. Oh, goodness. A gaboon viper. I don't know how else to say that. But look at that thing. That one kind of whatever, but this one, look at this chonker.
Yeah, it was like 3 inches thick.
That is a round snake that's made himself flat. That's wide. That's the first time I've seen a snake's eye move.
Oh yeah, its pupil was moving. It was very
picked up, but I saw the pupil shift.
yeah.
It was weird.
Exactly what I just said. It was the weird thing.
Lance-headed rattlesnake. Oh. Nice, pretty one. Yeah, I know, right? Armstrong's dusky rattlesnake. Oh, that was hidden really well. In the fact that it was off in a corner and I couldn't see it. Eyelash viper, Mexican jumping viper. That sounds terrifying. Oh, it's like it's burnt wood. That looks amazing. Oh, there's the eyelash one way off in the corner.
It was hiding from me. I wanted to see it.
Oh, there's another one back there. A lot of snakes in one container. Enclosure. And the last one, the African brush viper.
Come on, Ryan, move your hand.
Oh, over there.
It blends so well in with the rock. Blends in so well with the rock.
Okay. That's everything.
Oh god, as we
Let's
walk
head
into
the
the brightest
At some point I'll turn it
freaking
off.
thing
But let's
ever.
enjoy the walk for a bit. Ready? Yeah, little gremlin. You from the future walk? Hi, Grandpa. Come on, Lorelai, let's go. You want to get in? Yeah. Yeah, I'll be in the front. Okay, well this was the zoo. There's a couple more things, but honestly, we gotta go. So I'm sorry about missing it. Hope everyone's having fun. Bye-bye. You like your new toys? Why would you do that? Girl.
Oh, and it's on repeat. Cool. So that was the Houston Zoo. I know it was a sudden ending. Kind of just rolling with the recording, so it was a little difficult to jump in when I knew I was narrating it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We will probably go to, I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't go to more zoos over the next couple of months and such. But let me see something. There we go. That was weird. Why would it do that? Sorry, I'm checking a thing and it did a weird thing. So that's pretty much the stream right now. Thank you for dropping by. I usually don't do this. This was a different one for me. I usually either play Planet Zoo or I've been doing the Oh god, I can't think of the name of the game. I usually do like first person shooters. I used to do cooking streams, but it's been a bit. But but yeah, thank you for hanging out. Thank you. I appreciate that follow. Thank you very much. Um, so I'm set up to raid Mindari, who usually does Dungeons and Dragons world building. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, so I'm going to raid Mindari. She is doing world building right now for Dungeons and Dragons. She's been working on like an entire complete world for quite a while, and it is very amusing to just hang out and talk with her. Every once in a while she does play a game, but today she is doing D&D stuff. So we're gonna go see Mindari. Thank you again for stopping by, and I hope to see you again. Bye bye.
Specifically. Rook, hi honey. Oh my goodness. What? Thank you so much for the raid. How are you? How was your stream? You're doing Animals of the World. You do lots of animal games, and honestly, I vibe with it. Holy crap. How was your stream? How did it go? Thank you so much for the raid. Hi there, whale balloons. How y'all doing? We're vibing. Chat's guilting me into making sub races for Goliath, so that's upsetting. It's fine. Okay. So let's see. We've got. Oh, God damn it. It started typing.